The vast emptiness of space hid a secret. For millions of years, a great civilization had spread across the stars. They called themselves the Galactic Union. Made up of 100 different alien races, they thought they knew everything about their cosmic neighborhood. But they were wrong. On a warm summer night, a young alien named Zax made a discovery that would change everything. Zax worked at a small observation post on the edge of explored space. His job was boring, just watching screens for any new signals. But tonight was different. A beep from his computer woke Zax from his nap. He rubbed his 3 eyes and looked at the screen. What he saw made him gasp. A new signal was coming from a small blue planet in a forgotten corner of the galaxy. Impossible, Zax whispered. He checked his instruments again and again. But the signal was real. Zax's tentacles shook as he pressed the alarm button. Within hours, the news spread across the Galactic Union. A new intelligent species had been found. The blue planet, which the natives called Earth, became the biggest topic of discussion in every corner of the galaxy. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, leaders from all alien races gathered to debate. What should they do about Earth? Some wanted to welcome humans into the galactic community. Others saw Earth as a threat to their power. Grok, the leader of the warlike Zargans, pounded his fist on the table. "We must conquer Earth now, while they are weak," he shouted. His red scales glowed with anger. "If we wait, they might become strong enough to challenge us." But Mina, the wise representative of the peaceful Lumerians, disagreed. Her soft voice was calm but firm. "We should approach them in friendship," she said. "Humans might teach us new things. Violence is not the answer." The debate raged on for days. In the end, they decided to send a small ship to study Earth more closely. They wanted to learn about humans before making a final decision. Meanwhile, on the blue planet, humans were going about their daily lives. They had no idea that aliens were watching them. But that was about to change. Dr. Sarah Chen was working late at SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. For years, she had listened to the stars, hoping to hear a message from alien life. Tonight, her computer started beeping wildly. Sarah's heart raced as she looked at the data. The signal was like nothing she had ever seen before. It was too regular, too perfect to be natural. There was only one explanation. It had to be artificial. It had to be alien. With shaking hands, Sarah picked up her phone. She had to tell someone, but who would believe her? She decided to call her old professor, Dr. James Wilson. He was now a top advisor to the President of the United States. "James, it's Sarah," she said when he answered. "I found something. Something big." Across the world, other scientists were making the same discovery. Strange signals were being picked up by radio telescopes in China, Russia, and Europe. Government leaders were woken up in the middle of the night with the news. For the first time in history, humanity knew for certain, we are not alone. In secret rooms and hidden bunkers, world leaders met to discuss what to do. Should they tell the public? Should they try to communicate with the aliens? Or should they prepare for the worst? As debates raged on Earth, the aliens watched and waited. They saw humans arguing, but they also saw them working together in ways they never had before. The threat from space was pushing humanity to put aside their differences. Little did the aliens know, their simple act of observation had set in motion events that would change the galaxy forever. Humanity, the species they thought was primitive and weak, was about to surprise them all. The stage was set. The greatest story in human history was about to begin. The day the aliens arrived changed everything. It was a sunny Tuesday morning when the massive spaceship appeared in the sky over New York City. People stopped in the streets, mouths open in wonder and fear. Cars crashed. Phones rang nonstop, and the whole world held its breath. From the ship came a message in perfect English. "We come in peace." The aliens called themselves the Galactic Union. They said they wanted to welcome Earth into their big space family. World leaders quickly met at the United Nations. They agreed to meet the aliens. After all, it seemed like a dream come true. Humanity had always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we had our answer. The alien delegation landed in Central Park. Millions watched on TV as the ship's door opened. Out walked creatures that looked almost human, but with blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes. Their leader, a tall figure named Ambassador Zorn, smiled and waved. "Greetings, people of Earth," Zorn said. His voice was soft and kind. "We are honored to meet you. We bring gifts of advanced technology and the promise of a bright future among the stars." For a few days, everything seemed perfect. The aliens shared amazing inventions. They cured diseases that had troubled humans for centuries. They even offered to help clean up Earth's pollution. People celebrated in the streets. It looked like a new golden age for humanity had begun. But not everyone was convinced. Dr. Sarah Chen, the scientist who first detected the alien signals, felt something was off. "It's too good to be true," she told her friend, Colonel Jack Harper of the U.S. Air Force. "Why would such an advanced race care about us?" Jack agreed. He had noticed strange things too. The aliens never let humans see inside their ship. They avoided certain questions about their home world. Something wasn't right. Sarah and Jack decided to investigate. Late one night, they snuck into the alien camp. Using a device Sarah had invented, they managed to bypass the alien security systems. What they found inside the ship shocked them. Hidden away were weapons, lots of weapons, and maps of Earth with cities marked as targets. The aliens' true plan became clear. They weren't here to help. They were planning to conquer Earth. Sarah and Jack barely escaped with their lives. They rushed to warn the president, but it was almost too late. The aliens had already started their plan. In cities around the world, the gifts the aliens had given suddenly turned into weapons. Chaos broke out as people panicked. The alien ships in the sky now looked menacing instead of wondrous. Ambassador Zorn's kind face appeared on screens worldwide, but now his smile was cold and cruel. "Foolish humans," he said. "Did you really think we came all this way just to be your friends? Your planet belongs to us now. Surrender, and we might let some of you live as our slaves." But Zorn and his alien friends had made a big mistake. They thought humans would give up easily. They were wrong. As alien ships attacked, humanity fought back. Regular people became heroes. In New York, a bus driver named Mike used his vehicle to ram an alien tank. In Tokyo, a young computer whiz named Yuki hacked into the alien systems, confusing their armies. World leaders met in a secret bunker. They knew that to survive, all countries would have to work together. For the first time in history, the entire human race united against a common enemy. "We will not go quietly into the night," the U.S. president declared in a powerful speech. "We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we declare our independence from alien tyranny." The speech was broadcast around the world and into space. Humanity's message was clear. Earth would not fall easily. As the first day of the war ended, both sides had learned important lessons. The aliens realized that conquering Earth wouldn't be as easy as they thought, and humans discovered a strength they never knew they had. The fight for Earth had only just begun, but already the aliens were starting to worry. They had wanted an easy victory. Instead, they had woken a sleeping giant. Humanity was ready for a fight, and we weren't going to give up our home without giving it everything we had. The first week after the alien attack was chaos. Cities burned, millions were homeless, and fear ruled the world. But humans are tough. We don't give up easily. As the shock wore off, something amazing happened. The whole world came together like never before. In an emergency meeting, the United Nations voted to create the Earth Defense Force, EDF. For the first time in history, all countries agreed to share their military forces. Old enemies became allies. The US and Russia, China and Japan, India and Pakistan. Everyone put aside their differences to fight the alien threat. Colonel Jack Harper, who had helped uncover the alien plot, was chosen to lead the EDF. In his first speech to the troops, he said, "We're not fighting for any one country anymore. We're fighting for Earth, for our families, our homes, our very existence. And we will win." But the EDF needed more than just soldiers. They needed new weapons to fight the advanced alien technology. That's where Dr. Sarah Chen came in. She was put in charge of a global team of scientists and engineers. Their job, to turn alien tech against its makers. Sarah worked day and night in a secret lab deep underground. She studied the alien weapons they had captured. "If we can understand how they work," she told her team, "we can find their weaknesses." All around the world, others were doing their part too. Farmers grew extra food to feed the troops and refugees. Factory workers made weapons and supplies nonstop. Even kids helped, collecting scrap metal for recycling into military equipment. In schools turned into shelters, teachers kept classes going. "We're not just fighting for today," one teacher said. "We're fighting for our future. Education is our weapon against ignorance and fear." The aliens thought their attack would break humanity's spirit. Instead, it made us stronger. People shared food, opened their homes to strangers, and volunteered in huge numbers. The best of humanity shone through in the darkest times. One day, a breakthrough came. Sarah and her team had been studying a captured alien communication device. Suddenly, it started working. They could hear the aliens talking. "Quick, record everything," Sarah shouted. For hours, they listened and learned. The aliens were worried. Earth was proving harder to conquer than they had thought. Their leaders were arguing about what to do next. Sarah rushed to tell Jack the news. "This is huge," he said. "If we can understand their plans, we can stay one step ahead of them." But they also learned something worrying. The aliens were calling for reinforcements. A bigger fleet was on its way to Earth. They had to act fast. Jack called a meeting of the EDF leaders. "We have good news and bad news," he said. "The good news is we can now spy on the aliens. The bad news is we don't have much time before more of them arrive." The room was quiet for a moment. Then an Indian general spoke up. "So we hit them now, before their friends show up. We take the fight to them." The idea spread quickly. All over the world, humans prepared for a massive counterattack. It would be risky, but it was their best chance. As the day of the attack got closer, Jack visited troops around the world. In a camp in Africa, a young soldier asked him, "Sir, do you think we can really win?" Jack looked at the diverse group of soldiers, men and women from every continent working together. He smiled and said, "Look around you. We've already won something important. We're united like never before." The aliens thought they could scare us into giving up. Instead, they made us remember what really matters. We're one people, one planet, and we're not going down without a fight. The soldiers stood straighter, proud, and ready. Similar scenes played out all over the world. Humanity was ready. In her lab, Sarah put the finishing touches on a new weapon. It used the aliens' own technology against them. "Let's see how they like a taste of their own medicine," she said with a grim smile. As the sun set on the eve of the big attack, people everywhere held their breath. Tomorrow would decide the fate of the human race. But win or lose, humanity had already proven something important. When things get tough, we don't break apart. We come together. And together, we're stronger than any alien army. The stage was set. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin. The day had come. Humanity was ready to strike back against the alien invaders. But before the battle began, Earth had a message to send. A message that would echo across the stars. In a secret bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, world leaders gathered. They had come to make history. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before them, nervous but determined. She held in her hands the key to humanity's future. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah began, "we've done it. We've cracked the alien communication system. With this device, We can broadcast a message to every corner of the galaxy." The room buzzed with excitement. The U.S. President stepped forward. "Dr. Chen, you've given us a powerful weapon. Now, let's use it." For hours, they worked on the message. It had to be strong, clear, and unmistakable. When they were done, Colonel Jack Harper was chosen to deliver it. Jack took a deep breath as he faced the camera. "To all alien civilizations listening," he began, his voice firm and resolute. "This is Earth. We know you're out there. We know you're watching. Some of you may think we're weak, primitive, easy to conquer. To those who think that, we have this to say: you're wrong." Jack's eyes blazed with determination. "We are humanity. We've faced countless challenges throughout our history, and we've overcome them all. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own wars. We've walked on our moon, cured diseases, and split the atom. And now, we're ready for you." He paused, letting his words sink in. "To those who come in peace, we offer friendship. But to those who threaten us, hear this: we will not go quietly. We will not surrender. We will fight with everything we have." Jack's voice grew stronger. "You may have more advanced technology. You may have bigger ships. But we have something you can't match. We have the unbreakable spirit of humanity. We are creative, adaptable, and more determined than you can imagine." He leaned closer to the camera. "So here's our warning to any alien race thinking of invading Earth. We're ready, and we're waiting. Come as friends, or don't come at all. Because if you come as enemies, you'll regret it." With a nod, Jack ended the transmission. The room was silent for a moment, then erupted in applause. They had done it. Earth's message was racing across the stars. But would it be enough? As the leaders filed out of the bunker, Sarah turned to Jack. "Do you think they'll listen?" she asked. Jack smiled grimly. "They'd better. Because we meant every word." Across the globe, humanity held its breath. The alien ships overhead seemed to pause, as if listening. Had they heard the message? What would they do? In cities and towns, in farms and factories, people gathered around screens and radios. The warning was broadcast to Earth too. As they listened, something changed in the hearts of humans everywhere. Fear turned to determination. Despair became hope. In the face of this cosmic threat, humanity found a strength it never knew it had. In a refugee camp in Europe, an old woman stood straighter. "I've lived through wars," she said. "We'll live through this too." In a hospital in Asia, a doctor treating the wounded smiled. "They don't know who they're messing with," he said. On a battlefield in Africa, a soldier gripped her weapon tighter. "Bring it on," she whispered. Even children felt the change. In a school-turned-shelter, a young boy looked up at his teacher. "We're going to win, aren't we?" he asked. The teacher nodded. "Yes," she said, "because we're fighting for our home." As night fell, the world waited for the aliens' response. But something had shifted. The fear that had gripped humanity since the invasion began was fading. In its place was a fierce, unbreakable resolve. In the command center of the Earth Defense Force, Jack and Sarah watched the monitors. Alien chatter had increased. Something was happening. "Whatever comes next," Jack said, "we're ready for it." Sarah nodded. "We've shown them who we are. Now let's show them what we can do." As if in answer, alarms began to blare. The aliens were on the move. The real battle was about to begin. But this time, Earth wasn't facing it with fear. This time, we were facing it with a warning, a promise, a declaration to the entire galaxy. Humanity is here. We will not be conquered. And we're just getting started. The aliens had made a big mistake. They thought humans would be easy to beat. They were wrong. Now both sides were racing to get stronger, faster. In secret labs all over Earth, scientists worked day and night. Dr. Sarah Chen led the biggest team. They were trying to understand alien technology and make it better. One day, Sarah made a huge discovery. She found out how the alien spaceships could travel so fast. It's like a shortcut through space. She told Colonel Jack Harper, "If we can copy this, we can build our own super-fast ships." Jack's eyes lit up. "That would change everything," he said. "We could take the fight to them." But the aliens weren't sitting still. They called for more ships, more weapons. They thought if they brought enough force, they could crush Earth quickly. What the aliens didn't know was that humans are really good at learning and adapting. In just a few months, Earth had made big jumps in technology. In a hidden base under the Amazon rainforest, the first human-made spaceship with alien-like engines was almost ready. It was called Hope. Engineers from all over the world had worked on it. "She's beautiful," Jack said as he looked at the shiny new ship. Sarah nodded. "And she's just the beginning. We're building a whole fleet." But it wasn't just spaceships. Humans were coming up with all sorts of new inventions. In Japan, a team made special suits that made soldiers super strong. In Russia, scientists created shields that could stop alien lasers. In Africa, they found a way to hide whole cities from alien scanners. The aliens couldn't believe how fast humans were catching up. They had never seen a species learn so quickly. It scared them. Zorn, the alien leader, called an emergency meeting. "These humans are more dangerous than we thought," he told his generals. "We must attack now, before they get too strong." But it was too late. Earth was ready. One morning, alien sensors picked up something new. A human ship had just appeared at the edge of the solar system. It had gotten there in minutes, using the same kind of engines as the aliens. Zorn couldn't believe it. "Impossible," he shouted. "How did they do that so fast?" The answer was simple: teamwork. All over Earth, people had worked together, shared ideas, and never gave up. Now, humans weren't just defending. They were pushing back. The new Earth ships, led by the Hope, flew circles around the alien fleet. They were faster, more agile, and they had surprises. In the first big space battle, Jack led the attack. He pressed a button on his control panel. Suddenly, all the alien ship's weapons stopped working. "What's happening?" Zorn cried as his ship's lights flickered. Sarah's voice came over the radio. "A little gift from Earth," she said. "We turned your own technology against you." The battle was over in minutes. For the first time, the aliens retreated. Back on Earth, people celebrated. But Jack and Sarah knew this was just the beginning. "They'll be back," Jack said, "and they'll be angry." Sarah nodded. "Then we better keep working. We've caught up to them. Now let's get ahead." In labs and factories around the world, humans kept inventing, building, improving. New ships joined the fleet every day. Better weapons, stronger shields, faster computers. The aliens had started this war thinking it would be easy. Now they were scared. They had woken a sleeping giant. Humanity wasn't just fighting back. We were rising up, reaching for the stars. As news of Earth's victory spread, other alien races took notice. Some started to think maybe humans weren't so primitive after all. Maybe Earth would be a good friend to have, and a bad enemy to make. The galactic arms race was on. But humans had something the aliens didn't expect: the will to win, the creativity to innovate, and the unity to work together. In the vast darkness of space, a new power was rising. Humanity was coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. The day everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. The alien armada, bigger and scarier than ever, appeared at the edge of our solar system. This was it, the battle that would decide Earth's fate. Colonel Jack Harper stood on the bridge of the Hope, Earth's flagship. Around him, the crew worked calmly, but he could feel the tension in the air. "Status report," Jack ordered. "All systems green, sir," his second-in-command replied. "The fleet is in position. We're ready." Jack nodded. He looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, Dr. Sarah Chen was watching from Earth's new space station. She and her team had worked miracles to get them this far. "This is Colonel Harper to all ships," Jack said into the comm. "Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. Today, we show the galaxy what humans can do. Good luck, and Godspeed." The alien ships came into view. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. For a moment, doubt crept into Jack's mind. Could they really win against such odds? But then he remembered all that humanity had accomplished, how they had united, adapted, and overcome. His resolve hardened. "All ships, engage on my mark," Jack said. He took a deep breath. Mark. The space between the fleets lit up with laser fire and explosions. Earth ships darted between the larger alien vessels, using their speed and agility to avoid enemy fire. On Earth, people watched the battle on screens. In Times Square, a huge crowd cheered as they saw human ships take down alien cruisers. In a small village in Africa, families huddled around a radio, listening to the reports. Back in space, Jack's ship rocked as it took a hit. "Shields at 80%, sir," an officer reported. "Keep us in the fight," Jack ordered. He watched as a group of Earth fighters executed a perfect maneuver, taking out an alien battleship. Suddenly, Sarah's voice came over the comm. "Jack, we've detected a weak spot in the alien flagship. If you can hit it, we might be able to end this quickly." "Copy that," Jack replied. "All ships, form up on me. We're going for their leader." The Hope and its escort ships punched through the alien defenses. Explosions rocked the ship, but they kept going. "There," Jack shouted, pointing at a flickering spot on the alien flagship's hull. "Target that area and fire everything we've got." Earth's ships concentrated their fire. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a flash brighter than a sun, the alien flagship exploded. The alien fleet fell into chaos. Without their leader, they didn't know what to do. Some ships tried to keep fighting, but many turned and fled. "We did it," Jack whispered, hardly believing it. Then louder, "We did it. All ships, pursue and disable. Don't let them escape." The battle raged on for hours, but the outcome was clear. Humanity had won its first major victory against the aliens. As the last alien ships retreated or surrendered, cheers erupted on the Hope's bridge. Jack allowed himself a small smile before getting back to work. There was still a lot to do. On Earth, celebrations broke out everywhere. People danced in the streets, hugged strangers, and cried tears of joy. For the first time since the invasion, they dared to hope that they might actually win this war. In her lab, Sarah wiped tears from her eyes as she watched the victory unfold. Her team hugged each other, laughing and crying at the same time. "We did it," she said softly. "We really did it." As news of the victory spread across the galaxy, other alien races took notice. The humans, it seemed, were a force to be reckoned with. Back on the Hope, Jack finally allowed himself to relax a little. He looked out at the stars, thinking about how far they'd come and how far they still had to go. This battle was over, but the war wasn't. The aliens would be back, and next time they'd be better prepared. But so would humanity. Jack smiled. Whatever came next, Earth would be ready. They had proven to themselves and to the galaxy that humanity wasn't just a minor player anymore. We were here to stay, and the stars were now within our reach. The news of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy faster than light. Alien civilizations buzzed with shock and amazement. The primitive humans had done the impossible. They had defeated the mighty Galactic Union fleet. On a distant planet called Zorg, 2 alien leaders watched a hologram of the battle. "Incredible," one said, his 3 eyes wide with wonder. "These humans are more powerful than we thought." "Indeed," the other replied. "Perhaps it's time we reconsidered our position on Earth." Similar conversations were happening all over the galaxy. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know more about these surprising humans. Back on Earth, the celebrations continued for days. In every city, town and village. People danced in the streets. They had faced the greatest threat in human history and survived. Colonel Jack Harper and Dr. Sarah Chen were hailed as heroes. Everywhere they went, crowds cheered and asked for autographs. But they knew their work was far from over. In a grand ceremony at the United Nations, world leaders gathered to discuss the future. The alien invasion had changed everything. Earth was now part of a larger galactic community, whether we liked it or not. We must be prepared for what comes next, the U.S. President said. We've won a battle, but the galaxy is vast. There will be new challenges ahead. Jack stood up to speak. We've proven that humanity can stand united, he said. Now we need to decide what kind of galactic neighbors we want to be. Sarah nodded in agreement. We have a chance to shape our future among the stars, she added. We should use our new technology not just for defense, but for exploration and peace. The debate went on for hours. In the end, they made a big decision. Earth would form a new organization called the Terran Alliance. Its job would be to represent humanity to the rest of the galaxy. As news of this decision spread, something amazing happened. Alien ships started arriving in peace. They came not to fight, but to talk. The first friendly alien to land on Earth was Ambassador Psylocke from the planet Nebula. As he stepped out of his ship, he held up his tentacles in a gesture of peace. Greetings, people of Earth, Psylocke said. We have come to offer our friendship and to learn from you. Your courage and unity have impressed us all. Over the next few months, more aliens came. Some offered trade deals. Others wanted to exchange knowledge. A few even asked for Earth's protection against other alien threats. Humanity found itself in a position no one could have imagined just a year ago. We were no longer alone in the universe. We were becoming a major galactic power. But with this new status came new responsibilities. Earth had to learn how to deal with many different alien cultures. We had to be strong, but also fair and kind. Jack and Sarah were busier than ever. Jack led diplomatic missions to other worlds, while Sarah worked on combining human and alien technology to solve big problems like hunger and disease. One day, as they watched the sunset from the new Terran Alliance headquarters, Jack turned to Sarah. Did you ever think we'd end up here? He asked, respected and feared across the galaxy. Sarah smiled. Honestly, no. But I always knew humans were capable of amazing things. We just needed the right push. Jack nodded. Well, we got pushed all right. And now look at us. We're reaching for the stars, and the stars are reaching back. As they spoke, a group of human and alien children played together in a nearby park. It was a sight that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. The future was uncertain, but it was also full of possibilities. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger than ever. We had sent our warning to the stars. We're ready, and we're waiting. Now, the galaxy was listening, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. As night fell and the first stars appeared, Jack and Sarah knew one thing for sure. This was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure.